Hey, what's going on, guys? That big guy here again, and today we're going to be talking about the item squish. We got the new horde bike, we got the reagent bank, and the transmog bank, and some other cool stuff. So I hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. So here it goes. Some interesting little stuff that we all want to know about Warlords of Draenor. First off, the item squish. The item squish is going to be it's needed. You know, it's the good thing is it's easier to understand the numbers for the DPS healing and tanks, and stuff like that. It's easier to understand numbers for on-screen for instant feedback, similar to numbers that cope with looking at boss health numbers. Easier to understand at the glance of gearing numbers and stuff like that. It's needed. The numbers were too high. For me, it was as soon as Cataclysm and Mop started, it was very difficult for me to keep track of all the numbers and all the stats. They got rid of a bunch of stats. They added some extra stats that help out. To a little bit. I mean, not too much, but back to the stats. It's the numbers were just too big. Now, because I'm in the beta and the PTR, and I look at the numbers and looking at the gear, it's I can keep track now. Now, for most other players, from casuals to hardcore raiders, even hardcore raiders noticed it was really hard to keep track of certain numbers. The casuals or like real new players did not know what all these high numbers mean. They really didn't. And sad to say for me, like as soon as I came back for Cataclysm, or as soon as Cataclysm started, I didn't know what none of these numbers meant. They were so high because I was raiding Wrath of the Lich King hardcore, doing 25 ICC, and the numbers were decent. I could follow the numbers. I can keep track of what my rogue needed, agility, hit, and all sorts of other stuff. But it's really good for the stat squish. A lot of players are worried about soloing old content. Blizzard has thought about this. They have considered it. This will be applying. They're going to give you a buff. I'm not sure if it's coming out in the patch or when the expansion drops, but they're gonna. It, it's going to seem the same. You know, they're going to make it to possible for players to still solo old content the same way they do now. It's and not old content, but the item, all it is taking, okay, let's say on my rogue I have 600,000 HP. Now it's going to be dropped down to 60. That's all it is. It's just dropping the numbers to make it look more simple. The game couldn't handle those numbers. I mean, if they didn't do the item squish, there would be bosses with billion and billion of HP. The game wasn't meant for that. Nobody back when Blizzard first started doing these you know, item crunches and stuff like that, they never thought that it would go up into the billions. So it's a good thing that they're doing this. Don't think it at first when I got into the beta and the PTR, it looked so weird. I was like, what the hell is wrong with my numbers? But when I went to the target dummy, the numbers looked right. When I was fighting mobs and going to see old content, it looked normal. There's nothing wrong with it, guys. Trust me. And eventually, people are just scared of change, I guess. But hopefully, this item, this helps you out with the item squish. Now we're gonna have some more stuff coming up. It's gonna be really cool. I got the horde bike up and some other stuff. So I hope you enjoy. Yep. So that was the item level. Now we got the barbershop. You can change practically your whole character's face, features, how the face looks, hair, color, the same old stuff, but you can change to how the face looks now, which is really cool because a lot of players were worried they would have to pay to make their characters look like it was, their old characters. It's a pretty cool little change. I'm glad they did it. A lot of people are glad, especially on my realm where there's a lot of our peers. And another thing is we got the reagent bank, which is really good because a lot of players made bank guilds on the side to store all their junk and all their reagents and stuff. I mean, I have a guild bank with 3 or 4 tabs full of old school reagents, or items, crafting materials, gems, you name it. And it's as big as the void, or the void bank, where you can put all your gear in. And speaking of the void gear, there's another tab now, so you can put even more armor and more stuff. So that's a good thing. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. It was cool trying to gather up all this little information and explaining the stat squish with you. If it helped, I'm gonna put a link in the description from Wohead on the stat squish and what other people think. So thanks, guys. Please like and subscribe and stay classy.